are saying that 90% of the buildings on the island are destroyed. So describe the scope of the damage that you saw.
I mean, that's appropriate. In our own resort, roofs were torn off, the glass was shattered, walls were gone. What I think was so impressionable were the cars were flipped over on top of each other. It was just mass destruction. And again, one of the reasons why we started to plan ahead to try and get planes there beforehand, because we just knew that that was a monster of a storm and we were going to have to get people out afterwards.
How bad did conditions in St. Maarten get? I mean, did you guys have enough necessary supplies like food and water when you were going through this?
I would say that our resort particularly did, just because we did ask people to prepare a few days before. We told them to go and get 3 to 4 days worth of food, to stock up water. So most of our guests already had that. All of our kitchens and everything regarding our resort had already started to prepare for that. So we were in good shape regarding that. And that, what we noticed afterwards is that a lot of other hotels in the surrounding areas end up coming over to us because they didn't have those things. So we ended up being a hub for a lot of other hotels as well.
So tell us about the repeated efforts to get a plane on the island to transport you guys to Puerto Rico. How difficult was that?
Well, I did call back home, just a little town called Hemet. I have a group of amazing women there, very, very resourceful, and they started to call congressmen and just try to get just some type of coverage, because there's so much going on in the U.S. already that, you know, who's going to pay attention to a little place like St. Maarten. Right after it hit, we went on to ABC and Eyewitness News, and we didn't get a lot of traction there, but they just kept on making noise and getting through to our different senators and Assemblyman Paul Cook, who then got us to Senator Rubio. From that point, it was great. Senator Rubio's office kind of held our hand throughout, got us in touch with the Justice Department, and went all the way up to the White House, which many of you saw the White House message saying they were going to come and help us. So from that persistence, we were able to get in touch with the State Department, and the State Department then coordinated with our corporate office that is actually in Mexico. And between that, the State Department coordinated through our corporate office, and we also had to talk with the Dutch military. We had to talk with the air traffic control, which is actually in Curacao, and really call in a lot of favors and call in on the relationships that we had throughout the Caribbean to really make things work, because planes were sent on that Friday, and because the communication still wasn't crystal clear, they weren't able to pick us up on Friday. And we had a small, very small window of time on Saturday morning, because we had another Category 5 hurricane, Jose, barreling straight for us, and we just knew that we would suffer immense damage, not to property, but to actual lives at that point, because there's so much debris that just the winds were going to be difficult to survive.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it was a major ordeal, and we're glad you're safe. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
When we come back.